Hi everyone, I'm back today sharing with you an awesome chair flow so you can get some great ideas for your next chair class. This is like a weighted chair flow. So the props that you're gonna need are a set of heavier weights. I'm using 5 pounds, but you could go up to 8. And then a set of light weights. So I have a set of 2s here, but you could do 3s. So make sure you have those 2 sets of weights. And then you're also gonna need a loop band for later in the workout, a pad for your knees for later, and then I also have my Pilates long box here, just to use as a prop for some of our torso press sitting work. So let's get started. This is all you need. I'm gonna again be showing you just 3 to 4 reps of each move, and then there'll be the PDF available in the resources tab. So we've got 2 black springs on my chair. I've got a balanced body chair that's mimicking a classical chair, and I'm actually going to put them all the way at the bottom. So 2 black springs at the bottom, or whatever you like to use for footwork, because we're going to start with footwork with our heavier weights, okay? And we're going to do a fun little series today where we're doing kind of like a superset series where we're doing 3 different foot positions on the pedal and hitting the same muscle group in the arms 3 different ways, too. So we're going to start with the heels on the pedal, hip distance apart. And then I'm in a palms facing in position for bicep curl or bicep overhead press. So what we're doing in this whole arm series is a push down, a reach with one arm, pull down, and then pedal goes down, you reach up with your other arm. Remember, you're trying to keep that pelvis vertical, then you push both arms up. So it's right arm, and in, and left arm, and in, and both arms, and in, right? So it's that bicep overhead press. We've got palms facing each other. I'm scooted towards that front edge of the chair, and I press, right? Then I can hold on that last one, bring those elbows in, but at shoulder height, and pulse my pedal, reaching the crown of the head up to the ceiling, shoulders stacked right over hips, and pressing through those biceps isometrically, right? Then I do my pulses, I'm keeping my heels on, and I'm turning my palms to face my shoulders. Now I go pedal down, reach one arm out, pull it in, left arm, and then both arms. So for all of these, right, you do not have to do 10 reps. You can do 6 to 8 reps because 1 rep is all 3. So it's a lot, right? We do the right arm, left arm, my knees are centered, my spine is tall, both arms, right? Last time through, reach with this variation and the heels on, reach, and reach. Now I hold, I get those elbows up at shoulder height and I pulse, right? So I've got my core lifted, pelvis completely vertical, and I do my pulses. Then I take my arms out here. The weights rest on my shoulders. You're gonna come into a turned out, heels on, wide second position. I cannot do the turnout because of my hip. So I'm gonna be in a wide parallel position. But you guys would be here, right? Where that degree of turnout's the same at the knee, the ankle, and the hip, okay? I'm parallel. So now pedal goes down. I reach one arm out to the side. I pull in, other arm out to the side, and then I go both arms reach and in, right? So we're following that same pattern, one arm reaching at a time, keeping that core lifted, spine lifted, press, and center, right? One more time. Like I said, I would only do maybe 6 to 8, possibly even 5, because 3 reps or 3 sets is 1, right? Hold the weights here, do your pulses in your turnout, right? So I'm keeping my core lifted, I'm knitting those ribs together, and I'm pulsing. Now from here, I'm gonna keep my heels on wide second, and then I'm bringing my arms in to the chest. So I'm here, the pedal comes up, you would still be in turnout. You're gonna push down, open one arm. Push down, open the other arm. And then both arms, right? So we're still following that pattern. We did 3 sets of biceps. Now we move on to the chest and the shoulders. And in, and then both arms. and in. So this really challenges the core and pelvic stability. If you see clients struggling, you're going to want to have them drop to lighter weights because you really need to be strong to stabilize your torso and your core against the weight of the springs and the weight of the heavier weights. So it's a good challenge for your athletic clients. So you've done your 8 to 10 reps of your chest presses, right? Then we hold the weights into the chest. We do our pulses, right? Up and down and up and down. Now I'm going to bring my toes on. So we've got 2 more sets. So now my toes come on, and I'm actually going to have my palms facing each other, and I'm nice and parallel here. I'm going to press down. I've got my toes wrapped. Remember, you want your metatarsal heads on. I'm going to press one arm out, palm face down, pull it in, other arm out and in. Now, since I'm using 5-pound weights, I am actually just going to keep alternating here. You could follow the same pattern, right, where you press and press, alternate, and then both arms. Oh, I can do it. I underestimated myself. I think we all do that sometimes, right? Press. So now both arms. So follow your same pattern. Don't listen to what I said at first. Keep going with that. So you punch, you do your 1-arm punches, you end with that both arm punch, right? And then, so I've showed you guys 3 to 4 of those. So I would end here, but I would pull the weights in, and then I would do my pulses, right? With my knees centered with my hips, even weight on all 10 toes, and I'm lifting up and out of that lower back. So I do my pulses. Then my last thing here is going into, I know, here. Keep the toes on, pedal comes up. You're gonna press 1 arm up for your goal pose press without popping those ribs, right? And then pull it in. And then reach, press up, pull it in, and then both arms, press. So same pattern, we're following that same pattern the whole time. We're still working the shoulders and upper back, and press. And then down, and then reach, and reach, press. You get that opposition, right? The arms go up, the pedal goes down. You stay tall. Last set here with this, keeping that lift through those lower abs and press. And I would hold the arms for an extra challenge. Try not to pop those ribs. Really knit the ribs together. If you can hold the arms up overhead and pulse here, such a fun challenge for the core. If not, just go back to bent elbows or have your clients go back to bent elbows. Do your pulses, let your arms come down, and everybody should be very nice and warmed up after that, okay? So now you can get rid of your heavier weights because you are done with those, so you can put those off to the side. And then from here, we're gonna turn the chair. Actually, this is still a good angle, so I'm gonna keep this. And then I'm gonna lower my springs. I'm gonna drop down to my side bend series spring that I would use. Actually, I'm going to turn the chair. So I'm putting 1 black spring on this balanced body chair, second from the top, okay? That's my favorite to do. And I'm going to turn the chair this way so you guys can see me while I'm demonstrating this particular move. And now you want to grab and just have nearby one of your lighter weights. So I've got a 2-pound weight. If people are struggling with the weights, then have them drop them and do this whole series without the weights. So just have it on top of the chair so that you're ready for it. And you're gonna come into your side bend position. We're gonna start today with the bottom ankle crossed over the top, okay? I've got my top hand behind my head, my other hand on the pedal. We're starting with a classic side bend. So I'm pushing down with the pedal. I'm feeling the connection of my legs into my core. So the inner thighs are super glued. And I'm gonna lift up. Inhale, lower down. And then exhale, lift. So I'm drawing my head back into my hand the entire time. I'm finding that connection. I'm wrapping my glutes around and the inner thighs hugging, toes pointed, legs long. So I'm here. Now I come down. This was our nice little classical intro, warming up those obliques. Now we uncross the legs and split. The top leg goes back, the bottom leg goes forward. I grab my weight, and now I'm going to reach that weight on a diagonal. away from my body. Lift the pedal, lift the top leg, turn and look. Turn and follow the weight this way. So it's in and up, and then reach it out. So I'm finding that rotation with the side bend. My bottom leg is continuing to reach long and away. One more rep of this, and reach. Now, I hold that weight up to the ceiling, readjust myself, and I bend and press my right arm. So lifting the bottom half of the waist, again, 8 to 10 reps of all of these. Unlike the footwork, we're going back to our normal rep pattern. And then now I'm gonna bring my bottom leg on top of the chair, just like so. Top leg is straight. I let the pedal come down. I lower that top leg, and now I go up. So rotating down and lifting up. So working those obliques, now we get to involve those abductors a little bit more, right? Last time with these, I could do these all day. I love them so much. And then you just bring yourself all the way up. This leg's already up here and ready for mermaid stretches. So we drop the weight. You can just place it next to you, and we go right into our mermaid stretch. So anchoring this leg, if people need to, they can take the long box, if people have shorter legs, and place it on there, because you want to close the chain, have the foot pressing into something, and then come up, take that hand under the chair, find the reverse stretch. So I always like to do one regular mermaid stretch. I would only do one rep of those, and then I would come up and over into this stretch, and then I turn and I bring that left hand on. We've got our mermaid with rotation, right? So now I'm gonna scoop the abs round the spine to push the pedal down, and then inhale to come up into my extension. I like to do 3 reps of these. Exhale down, inhale up. It feels so good after you just worked your sides in that side bend series. Down. So 3 reps, but I showed you guys 2. You got it. You walk your right hand in towards your left, you come all the way up, and you bring that hand underneath the chair for that last nice counter stretch. So you would repeat that entire side bend series on your other side before moving into our next set of exercises. So you would do all of that, all 3 of those variations, or 4 of those variations, and then we're going into a torso press sitting series. So I'm gonna move my spring down. I've got my 1 black spring, second from the bottom, okay? So that's what I'm using. You want it to be sort of light, but not too light, so that you don't have any support or you go falling backwards. You don't need your pad yet. You do wanna have your 1 light weight, again, and I'm gonna take my long box and I'm bringing it over here to show you guys a modification. And if you're teaching this in a group class, you may just wanna set everybody up like this, because then they have the box if they need it. So from here, you can start everybody here, both feet on the box. You're gonna have the weight, actually I'll hold it in my left hand so you guys can see me. So weights in your left hand. Feet can be on the box. Let's show modification 1. We're doing a torso press with rotation. So I gotta make sure that my hips are not too far so that I fall off, or that they're too far forward. You wanna be kind of like right in the middle. I'm gonna reach up and back. It's actually hard almost to keep the feet flat, but you can kind of walk the feet forward and do this, and then come up, right? You can have your whole class start with this. You're not flexing. You're actually getting longer to get on that diagonal and come up. Now, the class could stay there, or you can have them graduate. Legs go out, and I'm gonna cross my left leg over my right. It's the same side that has the weight is the leg that's gonna be on top. Then I'm going up and over. I'm anchoring the left hip, reaching the legs long and away, and coming up. So exhaling back, and then inhaling up. That weight is increasing that challenge to this left external and internal oblique. Reach and lift. Now we uncross the legs. Remember, if people need to, they stay here. Uncross legs together. I go back into my torso press. As I come up, I turn and look and pull that knee in. reach back out, extend, and then come up. So remember, modification, other leg on the box, one leg comes up. So there's how you can make that more accessible to people. Then you would do 8 to 10 reps of those, and you would repeat that whole series on your other side before moving into this next series that we're about to do, which is a little torso press variation. So no more weight. You can just place that down on your box. Again, I would start your class, if you're teaching a class, with the feet on the box to get them acquainted with things, unless you have a very athletic class. Bring your hands to the back of the chair. We're going to open the chest and make sure that we're not too far away. Got to kind of play with it sometimes with where you're at. And I'm just going to start with a regular torso press. So I'm going down and back, lifting my chest, but I'm going into that lumbar flexion. So I'm trying to push the pedal down by way of deepening that curve here. So I'm inhaling, exhaling, going down, getting that lift to the chest. You don't want to have people doing this or this, so it's got to be a really lots of external rotation through the shoulders. And then start with that. Then you can say, okay, class, stick with that. Or if you want a bigger challenge, bring the legs up in the air. And they're not like tabletop here. I've got the shins dropped and the knees in. I prefer this position for the back, for the hips, everything. Now we go down and back and then lift. So much greater challenge because now we're in an open chain movement. And if this was too much, right, you just have them go right back to feet on the box and then come up. Now we add. So as I lower, I'm going to drop one toe down towards the box, lift. Inhale, deepen that lumbar flexion and come up. And then reach it down and lift. So again, 8 to 10 reps of these. You want to keep lifting up and out of the chest and the lower back. And then you can come all the way up and roll your shoulders out. Beautiful. Okay, so now we get rid of that one light weight. We're going to take your loop band and place that on. We don't need the box any longer, so you can move your box. And we're putting on the band. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. We have to do one other thing first. JK, so not band yet. You actually keep your one light weight. I'm actually going to turn the chair this way so you can see. So to build on that core series, we're doing another core series from the top of the chair. So you're going to come up or come to seated on here. Again, you need really strong athletic clients because there is zero support in flexion here. We come down. You've got your one light weight. I recommend 2 pounds. You've got your left hand behind your head. You're going to start here with your arm reaching your head back slightly. Then you curl up. You extend the legs. You reach the arms through the legs. You got to play with your positioning on the chair. Sometimes I like to scoot back a little bit. Inhale. So I'm here. I reach back. Exhale, curl lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So I'm flattening those lower abs. This is my 3rd rep, so I'll stay here. Then I bring the legs together. I'm going to lower the legs, lower the arm, or reach the arm away a little, and then curl up a little higher. Reach away a little. Inhale, exhale, curl in deeper. Inhale, reach away. Exhale, curl. Now I bend the knees. I'm going to reach this weight outside of that left leg. So the weight's in my right hand, and then I come back through center. I stay curled the whole time. Twist and center. Inhale, exhale, and reach. So that was 3 reps. Now I would hold here. Stay turned, just the arm. Up and down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. This other leg, your reaching leg, is as low as you can go without arching your back. Lower and lift. Pull it in. You can come up, right? Be careful with coming up if you're close to the edge. And you would repeat that entire series on your other side, okay? Then, now you're actually ready to drop your weight. And you're gonna place your loop band on. You're ready for some extension after all of that flexion that you just did and all that core work. So this will be a great stretch for the abs. And I'm gonna move my black spring up to all the way at the top. So one black spring all the way up at the top. I'm putting my loop band on around my calves. So calves is my favorite place because we're going to use this to connect to the glutes and the whole posterior chain and extension. So now I come down, I've got tension on my band. So I'm pulling apart with the legs. I'm pressing my pubic bone and my hip bones into the front of the chair. We're just literally doing regular swan. So with a little hamstring curl. So I'm coming up, I'm lifting, and then I'm going back down. I feel like I need to be back a little bit more. Make sure you play with your positioning on the chair. You don't want to be too close or too far, and then reach back out. Now, again, 8 to 10 reps of those, or like for instance, today my back is tight, and it actually feels really quite better for me to keep the legs long. So sometimes it feels better to bend the knees, sometimes it feels better to keep them straight. So you have options, right? You just want to make sure that you do 8 to 10 reps of your swan. I'm just showing you these 3. The abs pull in when you go down. You come up, you get longer to lift, you hold. Now, you stay in extension, you bring the pedal down a couple more inches. Keep that length through the legs, keep the abs lifted, and then bend and press the arms. So I'm in that extension, I'm holding up my upper back. I'm reaching long through my legs, from my glutes and hamstrings. 8 to 10 reps of these tricep presses with the chair. Then I would just kind of push myself back, right? A little bit tricky with the band on. And then now I'm going to sit back, take that standing shell stretch. Everyone can do this. If you have a private, you can stand on the front of the chair so that they don't go flying, or you can just be here. And then from here, last fun little thing to do, we're going to turn the chair this way. I want to do that so you guys can see. Don't need to change your springs. We're going to put the pad on top of the chair for your knee, because we're going to end with a little bit of glute work. So you've got every muscle in your body. So this is where it gets a little tricky. You're going to put the band above your knees now, and you're going to come up on top of the chair. So the chair being up here provides a more of a balance challenge, but the greatest thing about this is the range of motion that we can get with the working leg versus being on the floor. Because you're on a platform now, so instead of being here, right, I can go all the way down towards the chair and lift up. So I get a full range hamstring glute extension. So I'm staying in my neutral. I want to make sure my weight's not too far forward, not too far back. And then I'm going to lift and lower, right? 8 to 10 reps of each variation. Now I stay here, I bend, and I straighten. I've got my abs lifted, my chest is lifted. I'm pressing my hands down into the chair to lift my chest up, right? I can do 3 of those. Then I keep that knee bent on the last one. I'm going to actually tap the knee down towards that chair frame and then up. So we're going into that donkey kick. Inhale down, exhale up. Lower down and lift. Lower down and lift. Then you hold, you straighten that leg, you reach it slightly out to the side, and then pull it back in. Slightly out, pull back in. So again, 8 to 10 reps, long spine, long neck. Bring that leg in. You would repeat, you can take, a shell stretch, child's pose on top of the chair. Just be careful that people don't fall off or you don't fall off. And then you would do all of that on your other side. So once you've completed all of that, you can take your pad off, you'll slide your band off, and then to end, you will do a nice mermaid pigeon stretch. So to stretch those glutes out that you just worked really hard. So bringing one knee up onto the chair, hips are square, and I've got my hands on the pedal. I can keep that same spring I had on for extension. I'm going to round forward over that thigh, exhaling down, inhaling up, right? I would say 3 pedal presses up and down is all you need, right? So I don't need to show you the third one. And then you can just make sure that you're always kind of pulling that hip back. You don't want to twist. You want to try to keep the hips square. You would do your other leg. Then you would end here, do a nice little standing shell stretch again. Walk the hands towards you so your clients can end class really nicely. They roll all the way up. They take a big breath in, and then they exhale out. And then they're all done. And that's your chair flow. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.